there at the top of news today. Let's turn from there to the other big story today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Monday announcing yet another stimuli package. This time a rupees 6.29 lakh crore package to revive the economy hit by the second wave of COVID-19. The Modi government has also announced measures to aid 4 sectors of the economy like tourism, which were previously ignored. But the big question is, will this really kickstart demand, or is the government once again making the mistake of focusing on supply side economics? That's our top story today.
The second wave has cast a shadow on revival of growth. Retail inflation is climbing. Fuel prices and wholesale inflation are at record highs. The economy, which was badly looking for some good news, got a booster dose on Monday. The Finance Ministry has announced 1.1 lakh crore rupees in loan guarantees for COVID-affected sectors. Of this, 50,000 crore will go to healthcare and the rest to other sectors.
The health and medical infrastructure in all other areas, all other towns, Tier 2, Tier 3 will be focused. So we are not looking at the 8 metropolitan, we are looking at all others. The loan which will be given will be to a maximum amount of 100 crores.
The government has announced a slew of measures. Among them are additional 1.5 lakh crore rupees for Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. Credit guarantee to facilitate loans for 25 lakh people. Financial support to over 11,000 tourist guides and travel and tourism stakeholders. Free tourist visas to 5 lakh tourists. The government will also provide free food grain for the poor till November. This will cost the exchequer 94,000 crore rupees. The opposition claims the measures won't help the country revive growth or contain inflation.
लो डिमांड को वापस क्रिएट करने के लिए, इकोनॉमी को हाई डिमांड पे लाने के लिए आपने क्या, जो बेरोजगारी की दर 12% है उसको आपको नीचे लाने के लिए आपने क्या किया? जो इन्फ्लेशन आज 6.3% है, जो पेट्रोल डीजल का इन्फ्लेशन 60% है, मई 2021 का आंकड़ा दे रहा हूं, उसका जवाब आपने इन 1 घंटा 10 मिनट की प्रेस वार्ता में आपने उसके लिए क्या बात की?
Like the slew of mini budgets announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman last year, this time the 6 lakh crore announcement is not a classic opening of the purse strings as demanded by leaders like Rahul Gandhi of the Congress Party. These are incentives, measures the government has announced to ensure that badly hit sectors by the pandemic get back on their feet. But the response to these measures will be decided by the stakeholders and their appetite for borrowing and investing more at a time when the future could be hit by the pandemic. In New Delhi, Rahul Srivastav for India Today.
Rahul's story there sets the stage for our face-off tonight, and the big questions I will raise. Will the Modi government's latest package really kickstart the COVID-hit sectors like tourism? Should the Modi government continue to focus on increasing demand instead of failed supply-side stimuli? Is COVID responsible for the economic slide rather than government policies? Is it time for more decisive steps rather than incremental measures that don't seem to be working on the ground? Joining me now is Supriya Srinath, Congress's spokesperson who focuses on economic issues, and Sanju Verma, the BJP spokesperson. Now, before we start, to both of you, I will not allow any crosstalk, and if anyone does so, the mic will be switched off. Please don't take that as a sign other than just ensuring that our viewers get to hear both sides. From my point of view, I will ensure that both of you get equal time. Please remember that. That's my only request to both of you. Viewers want news, not noise. They want to hear you, but they don't want the noise. So Sanju Verma, you start first, because my basic question is that it appears that the Modi government is getting its economic prescription horribly wrong. The patient, i.e. the economy, is in ICU, and you are applying Band-Aid, that to supply side Band-Aid, when the real need is demand. Your response.
Rajdeep, I want to remind you that last year the Modi government gave a stimulus package of almost 30 lakh crore, tantamounting to 15% of India's GDP. And this has been able to revive demand, besides, of course, breaking the supply bottleneck chain. I want to tell you one thing. In the last financial year, on an average, Maruti sells between 1.5 to 1.6 lakh units a month, which means every minute Maruti is selling 4 cars. Point number one. Point number two, our forex reserves recently hit a high of $608 billion, though they are currently at $604 billion, the third highest in the world. Point number three, last year, India Inc., that is corporate India, raised 1.88 lakh crore from public equity markets, which is unheard of during a pandemic. Point number five, I also want to remind you that world over, foreign direct investment actually declined to major nations by 35%, but in the case of India, we raked in over $64 billion in calendar year 2020, tantamounting to a 27% year-on-year jump. So if you say that demand is something that has not resurrected, I beg to differ. Tell me one thing, Rajdeep. Since October 2020, GST collections have been in excess of 1 lakh crore. Is that not a sign of demand resurrection?
Okay.
Tell me another thing.
Your
Just
time is
Tell
up.
me
I
one more
promised
thing.
you I am timing both of you. I've given you time. You've
We
made your
sold
point.
more than 150 million
Yeah.
smartphones last year.
Yes, you
More than
mentioned
150
Maruti
million
cars.
Smartphones last year.
You mentioned
Is
Maruti
that
cars,
not an
ma'am.
indication of
Okay.
resurrection in demand?
Yeah, your time is up. You mentioned Maruti cars, you mentioned smartphones, you mentioned GST collections importantly. I will now ask Supriya Shrinate with the same time to respond to that, because the charge, Supriya Shrinate, that the opposition keeps making is demand continues to remain, has been unable to take off, and that is the crisis facing the economy. Your response.
You know, the staunchest supporters of the Modi government will not say that demand has revived in the Indian economy, like my friend here seems to be suggesting. That's the first thing I would like to say. There are only 3 things that I want to point out. 23 crore people have gone below the poverty line. 1 out of 10 children, 1 out of 10 child today is being subjected to child labor in this country. 1 out of 10 gone up for the first time in 20 years, that number. And of course, unemployment rate at close to 12%. 97% people are earning less than they were earning 3 years back. And the reality is that per capita GDP has gone below 1 lakh for the first time in a decade. So the first things first I want to really point out here is that demand by every barometer that you want to talk about is low. Consumption is even lower, and not just in urban but also in rural areas, which is a huge sign of concern because a big demand comes from there. My basic point is we can keep talking about equity markets. 4% of Indians invest in equity markets. What about the rest of the country? 1 crore jobs have been lost. You really believe that demand is there? You really believe people are, buying? The reality is that the 3 lakh crore loan that was offered last year has not taken off. Not the whole thing has been disbursed. You're making it 4.5 lakh crore now. Why? Why are you resorting to liquidity and loan measures when what you really need is a fiscal stimulus package? And it is not just the common man who needs that money. This is economic times, and look at what the top corporates of India are saying. We need large fiscal stimulus. What you have put on display today is yet again a liquidity side boost. And let me also tell you, Raj.
Yes, 30 seconds.
1.29 lakh crore rupees. It is 1 lakh crore rupees in all, which is fresh measure. Everything else is window dressing like it was in the past, and we know the track record of 20 lakh crore that was announced.
More than the large corporate, Sanju Verma, the worry is the micro and small enterprises. Today's package, for example, was designed to boost the tourism sector, which has been badly hit not just in India but across the world. But look at the contrast. In Australia, 75% of the salary for many of these tourism-related industries was picked up by the federal government from April 20th to September 20th, and 50% from October to March 21st under a policy called JobKeeper. People were given cash in hand. Here we are giving loans. When your policies are not working, your policy of trying to provide credit is not working. No one wants to take those loans because they don't know what the future holds. They want cash in hand. Why is this government so reluctant, even in today's measures, to give cash in hand? Give people grants, not loans. Your response?
Okay, thank you, Rajdeep. That was a very long-winded question. You raised some pertinent points. Let me answer them. First and foremost, let me tell you that this whole narrative that the Modi government is not giving cash into the hands of those who need it, I think that's a lot of hogwash. And I would like to use this platform to tell you that under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, more than 1.35 lakh crore has been given till date, with more than 60,000 crore being given during the pandemic itself. Again, let me tell you, we run the world's largest healthcare program called Ayushman Bharat, with more than 1 crore people being beneficiaries till date. We run the world's largest financial inclusion program called Jan Dhan Yojana, and you will be surprised to know that of more than 43 crore bank accounts opened, more than 20 crore belong to women. And do you know something, Rajdeep? During the pandemic, we gave these women Jan Dhan account holders 22,000 crore plus as cash in their hand. Again, let me remind you something very important. While yes, profit to GDP of corporate India has risen from 1.8% in 2019 to 2.6% in 2020, it's not just corporate India which is benefiting. Something that you never mentioned, Rajdeep, is the fact that 29 crore people, 290 people and 290 million people, 290 million people in India are benefiting from Mudra loans, and the total amount of Mudra loans sanctioned till date are 15.2 lakh crore, which is stupendous, which is like more than 7% of India's GDP. No, let me finish.
One minute, ma'am. Allow me to, one minute.
I take 20 seconds.
Ma'am, I will allow you 20 seconds. I'll allow you even for 30 seconds.
Let me finish.
Okay, you finish.
No, let me please finish. You always talk of unemployment. I want to ask you one thing. Why is it that 29 crore people getting self-employed via Mudra Yojana is not big news? But P. Chidambaram's acolyte, Mahesh Vyas, who owns a private limited company called CMI, we need to believe them. Why? Do you know that in the last 2 years...
Are you seriously telling me that there has been no dip in employment? Ma'am, are you serious? Just a minute now. See, if you and I... Ma'am, this is not Sanju Verma versus Rajdeep Sardesai. Take a breather. I'm asking you a simple question. Are you seriously telling me that in the last 18 months, unemployment has not been hit? Are you telling me that as a result of fuel prices rising, people's baskets, consumer basket has not been hit? Are you seriously telling me that?
Allow me to speak or allow me to leave the show because you don't want to hear the truth. You want to rattle numbers, but when I give you the correct picture, you refuse.
I heard your story. I gave you also the counter.
I'm asking you a simple thing, Rajdeep. I'm asking you a simple thing.
Yes.
Why is it that the 15.2 lakh crore given to 29 crore people in India by way of Mudra loans is not big news? Why is it that 2.5 crore new additions to the EPFO in the last 2 years are not big news? Why is it not big news that Modi still...
You made your point, producer. We've heard. Your time is up. Now let Supriya Shrineth also have equal time. Supriya Shrineth, respond. We can, according to the government, the opposition is cherry-picking figures. When you look at, let's say, unemployment figures, they will turn around and say, please look at the amount of loans we've given through the Mudra scheme. They will turn around and look at EPFO figures. So they claim the opposition is cherry-picking figures that suit them. Now your response.
I am glad they are pointing out the figures. I will just give you some explanations. Look at the EPFO numbers. We must look at the PF numbers because you know what? In the last 1 year, 1.25 lakh crore has been withdrawn from the PF, which is usually considered a retirement saving. And the government had to give a second round of approvals for that money to be withdrawn because wages have been cut and jobs have been lost. That's the first thing we should look at. 1.25 lakh crore withdrawn. Private consumption has contracted by over 10% last year. Consumption, demand has contracted. It has gone not down, it has contracted by 10% last year. Again, numbers given by this government. Numbers given by the government also tell you in an RTI reply that of the 11 crore that they keep talking about Ayushman, in Bihar, 9 Ayushman for COVID-related treatment, in UP 875, and in Jharkhand 1419. 1400 people roughly used Ayushman Bharat. That's the reality. The other figure that I want to talk about, you can question every expert that you want to. You have scant regard for expert opinion. You have scant regard for people who ask you frank questions. But the reality is that I think the staunchest supporters of this government will say that the biggest albatross around Mr. Modi's neck is unemployment, and unemployment levels at 12%. You can keep calling Mahesh Vyas what you want, but the reality is that your government has stopped publishing unemployment numbers. You don't give unemployment numbers anymore. Why is that so? Why have you stopped
let me ask you,
data?
Supriya Shrinet, let me ask you, what is the one thing you would do which you believe which Nirmala Sitharaman has not done? You've seen this latest package. I have seen the criticism that the Congress is putting out. What is the one thing you would do?
I would absolutely focus on starting the demand cycle, on boosting consumption.
How?
And that will entail
How?
printing money and putting money in the hands of people. You've got to go to a scheme like Nyaya.
The government says that through the Pradhan Mantri
Mantri
Kisan Nidhi for Kisan Samman Nidhi, they are putting money in people's hands.
I'm glad you asked me that question. 6 crore farmers, in fact 6.5 crore farmers are still left out of that scheme. And the reality is that due to the diesel and the petrol price hikes that you have done, you have increased the cost of agriculture by 15,000 rupees per hectare. So saying that you're giving them pretense like 6,000 is not going to work. You really have to incentivize consumption by giving them money directly, and you have to bring down the cost of living. You've got to control inflation at 6.3%. We are paying 100 rupees for petrol and nearly 90 for diesel. And diesel is the main transport fuel. Look at the prices of edible oil. Look at the prices of pulses, of vegetables. It will tell you a story. The government has no idea what's happening on the economic front. I hate to say this.
Okay, Sanju Verma, therefore, I'll give you a final minute. The problem seems to be not just you on the show, but even the finance minister and the Prime Minister living in denial. Fuel prices record high, retail inflation 6-month high, food inflation up 3.05% in a month, wholesale inflation all-time high, unemployment, you can dispute the figures, but highest since 2020 lockdown. Fears of a COVID third wave. Let's get real. There's a serious economic crisis. Incrementalism will not work. Giving 50 lakhs here and 50 lakhs there, saying 5 lakh tourists who come into the country will get visas free is not going to rejuvenate India's tourism sector. They need money now in their hands. Why the denial, ma'am? Final word, a minute to you.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, I just want to tell the Congress that, they keep coming here and saying inflation has risen. Let me tell you, in the last 7 years, the average retail inflation under the Modi government is 5% and food inflation less than 4%. Whereas under an incompetent Congress-led UPA, the average inflation retail was as high as 14%. The current account deficit was a precarious 6% plus. Under the Modi government, current account deficit is barely 2%, and current account deficit
under the Modi government, petrol has crossed a century.
Your balance sheet is.
And growth rates.
Rajdeep, you
And
did
growth
not
rates.
interrupt Supriya. Can you please stop interrupting me?
Yeah.
Can you stop interrupting me?
Okay.
Can I have my say?
Yes.
You did not interrupt the
Relax.
Congress.
I asked her also, but go ahead.
Please stop interrupting me.
BP
Now
low.
let me
BP
finish.
low. Relax. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish. Please stop lecturing me. Stop lecturing me and listen to me.
Yes.
I want to tell you one thing.
Yes.
Today we have vaccinated more than 32 crore people.
Yes.
And the rebound in the economy, as you have been saying on your channel, is linked to how fast we vaccinate people.
Yes,
we
one of
have
the channels.
vaccinated close to the entire population of US with the first dose. But what is Rajdeep Sardesai debating? Why the economy is
Rajdeep
not on
Sardesai
track?
is saying
Do
that
you know
US
that
has,
Moody's
India's
has said
population
we
is
will
4
grow
times
by
that of the US.
9.3%?
India's
Can you
population
please
is
be
4
quiet?
times that of the US, ma'am.
Rajdeep, stop being a Congress chamcha. Stop being a
No.
Congress
See, I have been silent. I have been patient.
You
My
have
job
been
as a journalist
interrupting
is to
me.
ask you questions.
You
You
have
are in
been
power.
interrupting me.
You
Please
have to
be
handle the
quiet.
economy. When the economy was handled by the UPA, we asked them the questions.
9.3% GDP growth for India. Standard & Poor's
Okay.
is 9.5%. India ratings is 9.6%, amongst the highest in the world. Whether it is Jan Dhan Yojana,
Okay,
whether
you've
it is
mentioned all
Pradhan
these
Mantri
points.
Kisan Nidhi Yojana,
You've mentioned
whether it
these
is
points.
building
I think we've
10,000
reached.
kilometers of
Okay, you believe the glass is half full. Supriya believes that glass is half empty. As far as I am, okay, producer, now, ma'am, we'll have to stop here. I think we've heard both sides. We've heard both sides. We've given both of you fair. I'm glad that you didn't cross-talk over each other, and keep the BP low always. That's a good way to go. Thank you both very much for joining us. BP low. Let's get prices also a little lower.